everyone, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you in the Flight Sim world. This is Viper Strike 95 Flight Simulation, and today we are back with leg 18 of our DC-3 World Tour, and we're back at Macau Airport here, located in one of the special administrative regions of China. It's great to see you guys here for another DC-3 flight. I'm very excited to be here as well, and I bet you all are here too on this Sunday morning here in the year as well. So before we get started, I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. We have Super Typhon, good to see you. I see quite a few people flying around this airport. Many of them are probably flying around nearby Hong Kong. You can tell from all the name tags. They're flying around Hong Kong, but also all around China too. So good to see you guys here. So what are we gonna do for today's flight plan? Well, we're gonna be flying to Taipei today, actually, which is located on the island of Taiwan. We're gonna go ahead and take off from Macau. We're gonna cruise to 9,000 feet like last time. Cruise to 9,000. And we'll make our way through the South China Sea all the way to the island of Taiwan. We'll make our landing actually at Songshan Airport, located in Taipei. We'll be landing there for the flight. That's where we're going to be doing for the trip today to Taipei. So it's going to be 500 nautical miles. Should be getting around done about just about 3 hours, give and take. So let's see if I can get my slideshows. Here you go. No, that's it. Right here. Okay, guys. So here are the slide. Let's start with the notes. So today, we're gonna set the. I'm gonna set the time here to April 25th. 2017, because that is going to be where it's going to be set. So this is leg 18, Macau to Taipei. So they departed Macau early in the morning. So it is an early morning departure out of Macau. They took a specific airway that took them across the Taiwanese border. At the Taiwanese airspace, Katsu organized an interception with 3 Taiwanese Air Force FCK-1 military jets. Basically, it's like a small twin-engine version of an F-16. It's natively built in the country, and it was quite an impressive fire aircraft as well. And they planned for a good 20 minutes of taking pictures over the island itself. And then all was smooth with the jets in formation. And as the formation approached, Francisco pushed on the DC-3's control yoke and dived towards the ocean to keep separation. And apparently, the cool box device landed on top of the pilot, Francisco. However, there was something more as well. So they could see the coastline, and they landed in Taipei with runway 21, which we're going to be landing here as well. And landing runway 21 to our airport as well. They saw thousands of people gathered at the aircraft fence, and there were so many people waiting for us because the media coverage in Taiwan covered the DC-3 arrival. And there were tons of kids all around the airport, and they took pictures in front of all the guests and everything. However, the major issue for this one was the leg afterwards, which is going to be leg 19 of our trip. That's going to be coming up next Sunday. However, it was a headache because apparently Breitling HQ requested they actually land in China, mainly Shanghai, because China was a very important part of the brand. However, the major issue was the permits, and even after everything get done, the real reason they could not land in China wasn't just permits, but they said the Chinese Air Authority said the plane was too slow. and couldn't accommodate the crew in a busy Shanghai area, so they were very disappointed. And they did everything. I mean, they went to this, even brought the Swiss embassy and everything, but Shanghai was not going to be the port. So instead, they shipped their focus to Japan, which would set up for next Sunday's flight to Okinawa. So, so that is going to be a bit about the notes for this leg of the trip. If you guys want me to later on the journey, we can always read notes. So we're gonna go ahead and music. We're back with our brilliant little DC-3. Yep, we're back with our Breitling DC-3. A beautiful little plane as well. A brilliant plane as well. So she looks very, very good for this early morning trip. So I got all the fuel set up. So we're going to turn on ground power, beacon lights. Go. I'm going to go ahead and set my magnetos. I've already filled the tanks to max. So left mains, right mains. Auto rich. Make sure power goes all the way forward. A little bit. We're gonna turn on the booster pumps. We're gonna go with the left engine first. And we're gonna go ahead and so we're gonna turn on left engine first. Left engine is on. Right primer on. And right engine energize on. So everything looks pretty good. So if you guys want to join along with this flight, we are Victor Victor Mike Charlie. Our info is we are on the ground. I'm on Southeast Asia, so we're going to turn on the main battery. We can turn off ground power. And we can get ready to get taxiing here out of Macau Airport. Oh, still have my parking brake. So yeah, we got the morning here in Macau. This is a pretty beautiful sunrise here in Macau. So today we're going to be mainly talking about all about Taiwan. The fish, I'll get to more about Taiwan once we get to the air. So this is 495 nautical miles. So if we fly at around 170 knots, we should get there about 3 hours, give or take. So we'll be making it at a pretty good time here today for this DC-3 flight. But yeah, if you see lots of name tags, that's because many people are either at nearby Hong Kong International, or at the Baoan Airport. Or in Guangzhou, there is a massive international airport in Baiyun, in Guangzhou, which is one of China's busiest airports. So, Viper. Okay, let's get ready for takeoff. I almost forgot. The heading, our initial heading is going to be 95 degrees. And set the heading. Oh God, the grass. I should have said it before I come. Okay. Thankfully, thankfully for Macau, it's over 11,000 foot runway. T4 TVNDR. The Boeing 247 is here. Let's see. Lots of Asian flyers. Yeah, there's a lot of Asian flyers here this time in the morning. And we're up. All right. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make a circuit around Macau for one last circuit around the city. Gonna fly, make a circuit around. Yeah, the DC-3, what an absolute beauty of a plane. So in the distance, we could see Lantau Island. We could see that in front of us, and around this area is where Hong Kong is at. And all right, I think that's good, and I think I'm going to turn on the gyro pilot power. Heading hold, and I'm going to increase the gyro pilot pitch. Just like that, guys, we have officially left Macau. Just like that, we have officially now left the city of Macau behind. Goodbye, Macau, and probably goodbye the mainland Republic of not Republic. Goodbye to the to mainland China. This will be the last time we get to probably be around mainland China. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys had a great weekend. My weekend's been quite an important weekend. Yeah, yesterday I had to move some of the furniture in my house and everything. We didn't do too much, so I just prepared for today's stream as well. So I didn't really do too much. I hope you guys had something more better than my weekend at least. So in terms of other news, the Tampa Bay Rays actually lost a baseball game for the first time this year. Lost a baseball game. Yes, the Rays actually lost. In fact, they now lost back-to-back games. Why? If all things happen, why did they end up losing? They lost to the Blue Jays for 2 straight games. Come on. I mean, please don't go 13-0 and then expect to get swept. Sergeant Staff with a rate of 14. Good to see you, Sergeant Staff and Sergeant Staff viewers. Welcome on in. This is Viper Strike 95, and we are here today. We just got started with our DC trip today, guys. Let me give Sergeant Staff a shout out, a really good friend of the community, and of course, we also have the Uncle B-Sim channel. Two really cool streamers as well. Both great friends of the community. I know you had a great time over Alaska today. Absolutely beautiful, Sergeant Staff. I did a flight over the Inside Passage. Not last Friday, but 2 Fridays ago, I did the Inside Passage of Alaska on stream. Great area to fly. You flew more in the interior of Alaska, which I would love to visit at some point. So we just took off from Macau. We're heading to we're gonna head to Taipei today. So we're currently we're going to go to our cruising altitude of 9,000 feet, and as we do it, I'm gonna lean the mixture. So I'm gonna lean, not idle, but lean this engine so I don't have to worry about the feet. So right in front of us, to our left, is Lantau Island. That is to our left. There's Lantau Island. Lantau Island is actually where the current Hong Kong International Airport is located, which is one of the busiest airports in the area. There's tons of traffic that goes through Hong Kong, and that airport replaced the much earlier Kai Tak Airport, which is. Oh, the Aleutians are fantastic as well. Yeah, the Aleutians are great too. And actually, speaking of this, Sergeant Staff, our tour, we will be flying through the Aleutian Islands ourselves. So we'll be doing an entire Aleutian Islands tour with our DC-3 flight. But yeah, there's a lot of Asian name tags here today in Hong Kong, which makes sense. Hong Kong's a very busy airport in this region. You did them in the widget. Nice. Yeah, I know you've been a big fan of that widget for a long time, and you worked on them in real life. Okay, you can't go wrong with picking a plane that you probably have pretty much a lot of experience with. I'm gonna go ahead and lower the pitch a little bit. Yes, I'm manually doing the gyro pilots, so the Sperry gyro pilot. But it's absolutely pretty here right now. And look at this. And there's T-44 TBNDR flying with me in the 247. Now, I haven't gotten into the 247 in a long time. Personally, I probably want to get back to the Boeing 247 at some point. It's just that thing has not been updated. Again, as soon as the plane came out, the developer kind of disappeared for some reason. I get it. He's a one-man developer. And that probably did take a toll on him. But still, you would want that to be updated. You're gonna be lurking? No worries, Sergeant Staff, about the lurk. No worries. See you in a little bit. Yeah, TB in the 247. The 247 and this were both competitors for the airline market back in the day. To see those two fly along is definitely very, very cool. Very, very cool, at least. If you guys like this channel, and if you haven't followed and are liking the content, I think it's recommended you guys follow the channel. And once you do, I do have my Discord. It should contain everything you need to know about our trip. Hey, Kaharia, my dear. How you been doing, Kaharia? You been lurking? No worries. Let me give Kaharia a shout out. She's an awesome flight streamer, great member of the two-jumper community and our flight sim community in general. She's an awesome creator as well. She does her Spitfire around the world trips. She does these twice a week, so you definitely want to check out her channel if you want some Spitfire action. But great to see you, my dear. I'm glad that you're here to lurk in the channel. But yeah, it has been a very pretty flight here today. We're about to reach 8,000. I'm going to go ahead and pitch on this thing again. Pitch right around here. With the stricter pitch, we can get up, and I guess to our right, I know it's a long ways away, but right over here, that is Hong Kong. If you see all the name tags, that's because we see downtown Hong Kong. If you guys want, if you guys don't mind, let me give you some specific information about some Hong Kong that you guys might want to know. Again, just like Macau, it is a special administrative region of China, and along with the Pearl River Delta. It has 7.5 million residents in a square mile of 426 square miles. It makes it one of the most densely populated places in the world, along with Macau. It is a major global financial center and one of the most developed cities in the world. And Hong Kong was actually established as a British colony back in the 1840s, after the end of the First Opium War. And the colony became one of the most important places for Britain and China. And that lasted all the way until when it was handed over to China in 1990. Thank you for shouting, disappearing behind the sewing machine again. And no worries. You're probably working on some sort of cosplay, if I'm a Batman. But the Hong Kong has its own currency even. The Hong Kong dollar actually has its own currency, the Hong Kong dollar, which is one of the most traded currencies in the world. And is also a large both importer and exporter too. And it has very high per capita income as well. So definitely a very cool place. It's also got a public transportation system. Notice the Peak Tram is its first public transport, but they also do tons of ferries to connect it with the mainland, Macau. And of course, this place also has its own international airport, Hong Kong International, which is one of the busiest airports in Asia. And finally, culturally, Hong Kong is a mix between East and West. And you can represent it with its own cuisine and culture. Too, father and son. Nice. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. Very, very cool. So yeah, that's just a little bit of overview about the city of Hong Kong, and yes, we can see Hong Kong in the background. There just isn't a lot of flight sim news today. Again, So, there isn't a lot of flight sim news that I've read of. But just incredibly cool. Just we get, and right there, guys, to your left as well. That long jutting thing, that is the infamous Hong Kong Kai Tak Airport. This is an infamous airport in Hong Kong. This used to be the main international airport of Hong Kong, by the way. In the sim, its ICAO is Victor Hotel X-Ray. Kai Tak Airport was originally built in the 1920s. Then it became part of the Japanese during World War I and expanded. And then it used to be a Royal Navy shore base, then turned into a major international airport by using land reclamation and all that to create a pretty big runway of extends to 11,000 feet. They also installed a instrument guidance system back in 1974 to aid in landing because of runway 13. And then during the 80s and 90s, there was a lot of overcrowding, and it was getting to be, the passenger traffic was getting to be too big for all of it. So they decided to move. They tried to find a new airport location, and they eventually found one in Chet Lap Coke in Lantau Island. So eventually, that airport closed in 1990 on July. Eventually closed in 1998. But Kai Tak, despite it though, still has a popular legacy even to. Of course, the thing that Kai Tak is most famous for all you guys, is its famous approach to runway 13 using the instrument guidance system, and it was known as the checkerboard approach with the internet guidance system, with the IGS system. But it was extremely difficult landing because you have to deal with all the neighborhood areas and all that of Hong Kong. But yeah, it has still been a very important area for sure. Its legacy is still very important in terms of airports here in Asia. So, that's just a little bit about Hong Kong Kai Tak Airport. So we're going to shift to this, and we're going to turn pretty soon to 105. Once we get back to the waypoint, turn back to 105. Alright guys, let's go over a little bit about the island of Taiwan. It's also, officially it's known as the Republic of China, which is a thing of controversy. But the Republic of China is actually bordered with the, it's located here in the main island of Taiwan, but it also consists of all of it. The Republic of China is the main island of Taiwan, and it actually consists of 168 different islands, around 36,193 square kilometers. Most of the land is from the main island of Taiwan, known as Formosa, which is around 35,800 square kilometers. Its capital is Taipei, which forms along with New Taipei City as the largest metropolitan area of Taiwan, with a population around 23.9 million inhabitants, and is among the most densely populated countries in the world. The island has been settled for at least 25,000 years. Ancestors of the Taiwanese people settled around the island around 6,000 years ago. In the 17th century, large-scale Han Chinese immigrated to West Taiwan, began under a Dutch colony. Yes, the Dutch used to have a colony here on the island before it was continued under the Kingdom of Hungary. And then the island was annexed by the Qing Dynasty in 1683, and it changed hands with Japan. Then it was given to the Republic of China. Japan would hold on, would annex it back. And then during the Chinese Civil War and all that. However, in the 60s, it said here that Taiwan entered a period of rapid growth. It became known as the Taiwan Miracle, and it grew into a very democratic country, and it has one of the largest export markets in the world, with mainly steel, machinery, electronics, and chemicals. But Taiwan's really grown. However, the thing that is the biggest issue for Taiwan isn't so much economically Taiwan's issues, it's political. And I might explain it in a little bit why that actually is very much the case. That reason. So, let's go over a little bit of history. Just a brief timeline of the history of Taiwan and its. So we get to 230. At age 230 AD, the Eastern Blue Expedition troops landed on the island known as Yizu, which was meant to be Taiwan, where most of them died, but managed to bring several thousand natives back to China, which is the native Taiwanese people. Then in 1171, Chinese fishermen settled in the Penghu Islands, which are located outside Taiwan. Which we will be flying over the Penghu Islands. Then the first Chinese people to visit Taiwan started in 1271 AD. But the big thing was the first Europeans to actually come near the island was actually the Portuguese back in 1544, when Portuguese sailors sailed past Taiwan, and they recorded the ship's log, and they named it Ilha Formosa, or Formosa to be short, and it's translated to beautiful island, according to the Portuguese, when they translated that as well. But in August 26, 1624, conflict between the Chinese and Dutch starts, with main forces successfully evict the Dutch from the Penghu Islands and retreat to the island of Taiwan near the Bay of Taiwan, next to a pirate village. And then the Dutch stayed there on the island until 1662, when Fort Zeeland surrenders to the Zhang Qinggong, and the Dutch actually depart from Taiwan, ending the Dutch colonization of Formosa. Yes, the Dutch used to actually have control over the island. Then in 1684, Taiwan is made a prefecture of Fujian. Under three managers from three countries, Dulo, Taiwan, and Fengshan, as it was made to a province of the Qing dynasty. In 1810, due to the fear of piracy, the Emperor of China recognized land previously colonized in Yunnan to be administrative territory. 1867, the American military expedition was sent to Qingtang in response to the Rover incident, which basically, what the Rover incident was when the American ship Rover was wrecked offshore. So they sent troops over to the wreck. And then in 1874, Japan actually invaded Taiwan. This was during the Meiji Restoration. The Japanese invaded Taiwan in retribution for the Mudan incident that happened between China and the Qing. And they successfully took over the island, forcing the Qing dynasty to pay indemnities to the Japanese Empire. And then Tainan surrenders, and the Republic of Formosa ends, and the Japanese fully annexed it on October 25th, 1895. Then the Taipei incident happened 20 years later as resistance to the Japanese rule, and innocent Taiwanese were killed by the Japanese. In 1943, the Kara Declaration happened and demanded that all Chinese territories lost to Japan, including Taiwan and Taegu, once they deal with the Japanese. However, the real major change in events that made Taiwan most well known for most of us was actually after World War II. Originally, Taiwan was restored back to the Republic of China after Japan's defeat. However, during that time, was still the Chinese Civil War still raged on between the communists led by Mao Zedong and the Qing-Chek-led nationalists. Eventually, the nationalists start losing ground, and as a result, refugees from the Republic of China entered Taiwan. More than 31,000 of them entered per week during November 1948. And in response to them losing the mainland, the KMT, the Kuomintang, imposed 30 years of martial law starting on May 19, 1949, after Chinese Civil War. And on December 10, 1949, just a couple months later, the Republic of China relocates its government to Taipei. And that's still going on to this day. The Chinese Civil War hasn't officially ended yet. In 1971, China and the UN recognizes the People's Republic of China as the government of China. The ROC withdraws from the United Nations. Then on July 15, 1987, martial law in Taiwan. Martial law is lifted in Taiwan. In 1992, the first democratic election of legislative yuan. In 1992, 1999 is the resolution of Taiwan's future. And then on July 2008, for the first time in 60 years, the first direct China into Taiwan flights are now open. So that's just a brief overview on Taiwan, the history of Taiwan, and it's not just the Republic of China, but it's mainly the history of the island itself. So just a little review of historical stuff. And I think we're about pretty close to hitting our next waypoint. We'll be turning to, we're going to change back to 84 degrees for this next turn. That's just a little bit about the history of itself. Well, so we have some pretty big stuff going on in Firefly Air right now. I'm part of Firefly Air, by the way. Now, I've been working on quite a few things. If you click on this link, it'll take you straight to the Firefly Air page. So this will be on Wednesdays as well. So far, our stats console looking pretty good. We got 7.6 million XP. We're just about 400,000 more XP to our new hub. So we're doing pretty good as well. So that's a little bit about Firefly Air. We got tons of liveries and everything, and we got a huge community now. In fact, we got over 400 pilots in our community, which is pretty insane as an airline. 400 people. That's nuts. 402 pilots, over 40,000 flights. That's since May 2022. We're about to reach a 1-year anniversary. We've been flown for 12 million miles, 40,000 flights. I mean, this airline has really done it all. Pretty incredible. So now we cross into the main South China Sea. We'll be continuing going on through all this. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys have a great weekend so far and enjoying yourselves on this Sunday morning and enjoying this weekend. We got so many awesome people here throughout the chat and everything. We got so many amazing people through this chat as well who are still working. I hope you guys have a great weekend too. So, if you guys aren't aware, I've already got next week's plans sorted out. So on Wednesday, we're actually going to do a flight into Scandinavia. We're going to be taking off from, we're going to go all the way up from the Arctic Circle. We'll be taking off here from Tromsø Airport in Norway. And I'm planning on making our way over to Gothenburg. We're going to make our way over to Gothenburg in Sweden. So we're going to do 2 flights as well. With 2 airliner streams as well. I'm thinking about doing Trondheim to Bergen to Gothenburg. It's going to be the plan for Wednesday stream. We're going to do some airline stuff over Scandinavia in the Nordic countries. And then on Friday, I'm probably thinking about still doing another bush trip. However, I'm thinking of something completely different. But I'm planning on doing something completely different on that stream. I'm actually thinking about something a lot more fun. I'm actually thinking we do a bush trip across British Columbia and the Pacific Northwest. But we're not just gonna take any plane for this one. I'm planning on actually taking the mighty Spruce Goose out for a trip somewhere. Because now that it's got an autopilot, I'm thinking about taking the Spruce Goose out somewhere. I mean, how fun would that be? And how about that for a float plane ride? I think that would be a bunch of fun taking that Spruce Goose. I haven't flown the Spruce Goose Mustang Sim, so it's gonna be a bunch of fun to see how I can get this thing going. So I think that's going to be the plan for next Friday. And of course, next week after we do this one, we're going to be heading to the island of. We're going to be heading to Okinawa. Actually, we'll be heading over. We're actually going to be heading over to Kagoshima. Actually, in next week's flight, we're going to actually make our way over to Japan. We're going to be landing at Kagoshima. And we're gonna do tons of legs into Japan for the next couple of weeks. Gonna be flights all over Japan. So that should definitely be a lot of fun. So yeah, that's gonna be what's coming up for the next couple of weeks. That's gonna be what's gonna happen for the next 3 streams. That's what I'm planning out to be. Yeah, I mean, very impressive flying T-44 TMBDR, TMB Very impressive formation flying, my friend. Very, very impressive. In the 247 as well. Very impressive flying in that Boeing 247. That's very impressive. My dude. Good work out there. So we're now just under 400 nautical miles remaining to go for our DC-3 trip. So yeah, we're doing very, very well right now. So, I want to ask you guys, let me go ahead and think about something. So, so basically, there have been some aviation stuff I do want to talk about. So I do have some stuff to pretty much talk about as well. So, so let's go ahead and talk about the geography of the island. So the main island of Taiwan has its own geography. The island of Taiwan has its own geography, and mainly it's divided into two parts. In the western half of the island of Taiwan is rolling plains, and that's where 90% of the entire population of the island lives on. And then the rest of the 2/3 is the rugged forest-covered mountains, and that's got some pretty steep terrain here as well. As well, and then the eastern part of the island has dominated by 5 different mountain ranges, each running from north to northeast, south to southwest, and roughly parallel to the east coast of the island are made of mountain ranges as well. And Taiwan's still in the sea plates, though they do experience earthquakes quite a bit for the geology. But there are tons of mountain ranges all throughout Taiwan, and I still would like to visit the interior of Taiwan at some point. The tallest point here in the island, its tallest point is Yushan, which is the tallest peak on the island at around 12,966 feet, or 3,952 meters, which is the tallest point, making it the world's 4th highest island, behind Papua New Guinea, or PNG, which is only behind New Guinea, Hawaii, and Borneo as the highest islands in the world. And then below the western foothills of the ranges, such as Hishu Hills, are raised terraces made from material eroded from it, makes some of the terraces. Climate-wise, Taiwan's climate lies around the Tropic of Cancer, so it has monsoon climate. But if you go further north, it's more temperate. But if you go further south, it becomes much more tropical climate, due to it being right around the Tropic of Cancer. And it also does have some endemic animals, including the Formosan serow, which is a bovid actually. So there's that as well. So that's going to be pretty good as well. But yeah, it's great to have you guys here for sure. Gotta get something to drink. So yeah, so, so coming up, I wonder if Murph's gonna post his schedule because I know he probably. Yeah, I'm gonna get me. There's gonna be a new T-shirt and hat coming along the way, and that's gonna be I'm gonna be wearing for streams, especially on the Wednesday streams. I'll be part of it. But yeah, there isn't very many stuff to talk about, unfortunately. Yeah, there's quite a few planes I could probably get. I know I probably might want to get a new plane soon. Add to the sim. I know I probably could get the Maul, the new one to fly. There's so many really good ones out for the sim that I would like to get. So that's going to be quite a few stuff as well. But let me go ahead and now talk about the next thing of the slideshow. And this is going to be the most interesting thing I want to talk about. Again, I'm going to go with the brief thing, but I have to talk about its political status. I mean, when all things come to Taiwan, there has been so much controversy over its political status. It's not even funny. But the main issue that comes why the political controversy thing is a big deal was because it was mainly the result of not only World War II, but the Chinese Civil War and the Cold War. And all of that comes from a result of all these events. But basically, the basic issue hinges on the islands of Taiwan, Penghu, Kinmen, and Matsu should be administrative on, which is the main islands here of the Republic of China. And some of the main options include maintaining the current status quo, Taiwan's de facto entity, a de facto self-governing entity. Number 3, become a part of China itself as a province or special administrative region under the one country, two systems framework. Formally abolish the ROC and establish de jure independent Taiwanese rule. 5, a potential plan to unify with mainland China under the Republican government thing. Or 6, be completely annexed under the People's Republic of China government. And there's also a lot of concerns about whether the status quo is a sovereign state as a matter of legitimate law. And this whole background goes way back. Because you see, Taiwan historically has been a part of the Chinese dynasties for a long time. Then the Japanese took it. They did in their years of Japanese rule for about 50 years. Then the Republic of China reclaimed rule over it. And then, during the Chinese Civil War, the PRC took over it, causing the government of the Republic of China to flee into the island of Taiwan, and that caused all sorts of things. Because according to the PRC, they had their one China policy, that they are the only one in China. And they claim all of it to be part of China, but the Republic of China believes that they're the true heir to China. And that caused a pretty messy situation. And there's a whole bunch of stuff over it, but I just want to give you the brief overview why that is a pretty big deal. That's why if you keep hearing a lot of news about Taiwan in the news, about all this, I just want you to at least know the basics of why that is an issue, historically. No. So, just a little bit of overview about the political status of Taiwan and why that is actually. So, again, don't want to talk about politics too much. And then we get to the government system. So the government, it was founded on the 1947 Constitution of the Republic of China and its 3 principles of the people, which states that it shall be a democratic republic of the people, to be governed by the people and for the people. It went through a lot of changes in the 1990s, known as the additional articles, and the government's divided into 5 branches: the Yuan, or known as Yuan, which is the executive cabinet; the legislative Yuan, which is Congress or Parliament; judicial Yuan, which is the courts. Then there is 2 more: the control Yuan, which is the audit agency; and the examination Yuan, which is civil service examination agency. The head of state and the commander-in-chief is the president of Taiwan, which is elected on a maximum of 2 4-year terms. The main legislative body is the unicameral legislation, which has 113 seats in the House. The judicial Yuan is the highest judicial organ and interprets the Constitution and other laws and decrees. The control Yuan is a watchdog agency that controls the actions of the executive government. And finally, the examination Yuan is charged with validating the qualification of civil servants. So yeah, that's just a little bit about the island's political situation and how the government works. I think that's kind of important. Like I said, I try to be very not too controversial on its political status because that's a pretty messy topic. You So let's check our fuel situation. Let's see if we're doing pretty. We are doing quite good. 72 on the tanks. Oh, look at that. PB&DR is still here with us in that boat, in that Boeing 247. Pretty cool. So ahead of us, we can actually see a little bit of mainland on Taiwan, just way in the distance. Just some awesome flying on that Boeing 247. That is amazing flying. He's kept up with me the entire journey. That's pretty amazing. So, we now get to the future. Yeah, we can see just a tiny bit of mainland China to our left. We see a little bit of it. This includes Jieyang and all that to our left, some major cities around that area of China. So we're now going to continue forward a little bit longer. So we are about 59 miles until we make our next turn. So we're going to turn left onto heading 6. So I hope you guys are having a great Sunday as well. I know quite a few people are having streams. I heard Scruffy Team's gonna finally get ready to have a stream tonight. I know Scruffy's getting everything ready. I'm in his Discord. So he's gonna finally be streaming it. I mean, hasn't been able to stream for a long, long time. mean, he hasn't streamed since since March 30th. He hasn't streamed since March. He's gonna finally get a chance to stream for a little bit. But yeah, there's so many people now get a chance to stream as well. I know quite a few people are going to enjoy the week. But it's definitely a very relaxing stream as well. So, that's gonna be for what's coming up soon. I never flew into Taiwan much. I think I flew to Taiwan in the sim at least once or twice. So I did fly into Songshan Airport a few times as well. It's definitely a pretty clear port here as well on the island. So I did do that as well. So just get everything planned up and get ready. So there's going to be quite a few things coming up as well. So since we're getting pretty close, I'm going to go ahead and do a short quiz. Here's a short quiz to do geography. Okay, let's try this one. The most populous countries in Europe. I got 2 minutes to solve that issue in order without a mistake. Okay, the most populous countries in Europe, guys. See if Viper's gonna get this one. These are the world's most populous countries. So the most populous is China, India, the United States is third. China, India, United States, Indonesia. Okay, not first. Indonesia. Indonesia. China, India, US, Egypt, Pakistan. Nigeria. I think Brazil. Okay. China, India, United States. There we go. There we go. So, number one is China, India, then followed by the United States, Indonesia, Pakistan, Nigeria, Brazil, Bangladesh, Russia, and Mexico. Those are the top 10 populace in order. Oh, let's go flags of Asia. Pick this one, okay? So all the flags of Asia. Let's see if ViperStrike can actually predict the flags. This is the United Arab Emirates, UAE. This flag and Qatar's are similar, but I believe, if I'm right, this is actually going to be Bahrain's. This one is a country we actually visited twice on the trip, and 2 destinations in this country. Chiang Mai and Phuket, and that is Thailand's flag. It used to be called Siam. This is Pakistan. We visited Karachi. We flew over this country during our way to Chiang Mai, that is Bangladesh. Then we're flying to Taiwan, that is Republic of China's flag, but Taiwan. Nepal, now home of Kathmandu. Then we also overflew this during our way to Chiang Mai from Nagpur. This is Myanmar. Also, some people call it Myanmar. other people call it Burma. This is Malaysia's flag. We went to Kuala Lumpur. Then I did a whole Berlin division trip. We flew over Russia. This country here is technically both in Europe and Asia. This is Turkey. Of course, and then Wednesday we just flew over this country. We flew over Vietnam. This one is going to be Uzbekistan. No, this is Turkmenistan. Yeah, this is Turkmenistan. One of the Central Asian countries. This is Kuwait. And then this is the state of Israel, the only Jewish majority country in the world. Israel. This is Sri Lanka. This is Syria's flag. Jordan. The difference between the Jordanian and the Palestinian flag is that the Jordanian flag has a star. So this is Jordan. This is one of the lowest lying countries in the world. That is the Maldives. Here, Kazakhstan, infamously. Kazakhstan. This is Iran, Cambodia, home of Angkor Wat. Saudi Arabia, home to the most holy place in Islam, Mecca. This is Bhutan, one of the most isolated countries in the world. Then you have Uzbekistan. And of course, this is South Korea's flag. And then there is the infamous Democratic People's Republic of Korea, or North Korea. Japan. This is East Timor, or Timor-Leste, as they call it. This is the Republic of the Philippines. This is Oman. Tajikistan. Brunei. China, People's Republic of China. Mongolia. Iraq. The former Afghanistan. This is the Palestine flag. Qatar. Azerbaijan. Lebanon. Yemen. Laos. Armenia. Georgia. Oh, this is Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan. Indonesia. Hey, who's that? Oh, Captain Arash with a huge raid. Captain Arash, my dude. Good to see you, Captain Arash. How you been, my friend? Welcome on in, Compass Club. This is Viper Strike 95 Flight Sim. And we are doing leg number 18 of our DC-3 trip. And we're heading our way over to Taipei today. So we're visiting Taipei. We took off from Macau just a while back in our beautiful DC-3. Great to see you guys. So if you guys are here for the first time, Viper Strike 95. I've been streaming since May 2021. I've been doing all sorts of flights, airliners, GAs, and right now a historical trip. This time, I'm recreating Breitling's historic DC-3 trip that they did back in 2017. With current leg 18, we started this journey all the way back on New Year's Day from Geneva. We went to Avignon in France, Zagreb, Croatia, Athens, Greece, Tel Aviv, Israel, Amman, Jordan, Manama, Bahrain, Doha, Qatar, Dubai, United Arab Emirates, Karachi, Pakistan, Nagpur, India, to Chiang Mai, Thailand, Phuket in Thailand, Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, Singapore, Kota Kinabalu, Malaysia, Laog, Philippines, and our last land stop was at Macau in the Special Administrative Region of China. And we still got a long journey to go. We still have yet to reach Japan, and of course we got also quite a few legs in the United States. So we got quite a few legs there. Then we cross over to the other ocean, to the Atlantic as well. But we got a long journey left to go on this journey. So, yeah. And by the way, there's a book about this too. Here it is for you guys in the chat. The legendary DC-3 Around the World. Francisco Guglio was the one who did it. On this, now here's an interesting thing I do want to talk about. For this leg in particular, after they landed in Taipei, they tried to get permits to land in Shanghai, but unfortunately they couldn't do that plan. So they shifted their focus to Kagoshima for next Sunday's trip. Oh yeah, I think I have a command for it. If you guys want the book, I think I or exclamation point book. Oh, actually, I take that back. It's actually on my Discord. Here it is. Let me find my Discord and grab the book. I think I have a hyperlink in that. I think it's pinned to my chat. It is. It's pinned to my chat, guys. If you guys want a copy of the book for yourself, here it is. I guess I should put it into a command titled book, exclamation point book. But yeah, if you do exclamation book, you can get this book. The book in question is the DC book that I actually have here in person. And it has tons of great pictures as well. And it has tons of pictures in there to look at as well. Some brilliant pictures from Katsu Tokunaga. He makes some fantastic pictures. Just incredible. But before you got here, I had a quiz I was going to do. So, I was about to name all the flags of Asia. And that's it for now. So, a little bit of notes. So, we did talk about a bit of Taiwan early Compass Club. We were talking about the island of Taiwan for a little bit. I talked about its history. And I did very briefly go over its special status, political status, because that's a pretty big geopolitical issue. But it's something important whenever you talk about Taiwan. Just keep in mind that is a thing. Do not be afraid to mention. So let's talk about something else different, less political. The economy of Taiwan. It's in the 1960s was the Taiwan Miracle, and as of now, it's been one of the most well-developed economies in all of Asia. It is the 8th largest economy in all of Asia, and it's the largest economy in the world by purchasing power. As a result, it's one of the world's advanced economies. It currently is a key player in the supply chain for advanced chips, with its rise in semiconductors, due to both of its corporations related to semiconductor chips. As a result of it, it's one of the biggest things for its economic stuff, but it's also known for telecommunication services, financial, and information services as a result. But foreign trade has been a big deal for the United States. But yeah, it's been huge for semiconductors. And that's because this area has tons of silicon, which is what is used to make a lot of the high science parts as well. And it's been a major stuff as well. In fact, it is among the world's largest markets for high tech systems. Companies like Acer and Asus as well have made their homes here, has made major businesses here in Taiwan. And also, other customers use their chips for their products, which is pretty cool about its economy. And yes, like I said earlier, Taiwan's a key player in these advanced chips. It's largely attributed to Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. And TSMC was founded in 1987. As of December 2021, 90% of Taiwan's GDP in microchips is from this company, and they make tons of semiconductor chips. For guys that don't know about these chips, these chips are actually integrated circuits made of semiconductors, mainly silicon, which there's a lot of around Taiwan. Is a lot of silicon, and they're basically used. Lots of them. You can find them in all sorts of products: computers, mobile phones, home appliances, and more have these in its circuitry. As a result, and they make all sorts of different semiconductor chips. In addition to high-tech manufacturing, Taiwan is also a major player in telecommunications and more. So pretty cool stuff to learn about Taiwan and her economy. And then transportation in Taiwan. The Ministry of Transportation is the highest governing body of transport. A lot of people in Taiwan use scooters, believe it or not. Scooters are a big deal in transportation here in Taiwan. In fact, there are twice as many scooters registered as cars. And both highways and railways are connected near the coast, where the majority of the population resides. And railways are primarily used for passenger stuff. But of course, it's also home to quite a few major airports. They include but the following. Taiwan International, which is the busiest airport. Then there is Kaohsiung Airport, which is Taiwan's second busiest. Then the one we're visiting today, Taipei Songshan Airport, and finally Taichung International. But there's currently 7 different airlines being served in this country. But the 2 big Taiwanese airlines are China Airlines and EVA Air. Are the 2 big ones that serve Taiwan. China Airlines is actually the state-owned flag carrier of Taiwan, or the Republic of China. Headquartered in Taiwan Airport, they operate 1,400 flights a week across Asia, Europe, North America, and Oceania. And they have over 102 city international destinations. They got a pretty long history as well. Started all the way back in 1959 as well. And they carry quite a fleet, mainly Airbus A3, mainly Airbus and Boeing's A321neos as well. They're going to order quite a few of them. And basically, the new Airbus A321s are going to replace their current existing Boeing 737s. But they also got Airbus A330s, which are going to be retired by the 787 Dreamliners. Then they also got A350s as well. That's their fleet. And then EVA Air, or known as Evergreen Airways, and they have 40 international destinations across Asia, Australia, Europe, and North America. And it was founded actually pretty recently in 1989 as a member of currently as a member of Star Alliance, and they carry they also carry A321s, but also A330, 200 A300s, but their largest plane fleet is actually the 777-300ER, which they have 34 of them. They are also now currently ordering a couple of Boeing 787 Dreamliner. But yeah, that's a little bit about the transportation stuff in Taiwan that I wanted to mention. And then education-wise, education's a big deal in Taiwan. Its system was actually established by the Japanese during when they colonialized Taiwan. And after the Republic of China took over it, it was promptly replaced by the same system as in mainland China. And Taiwan is known, has been, they put a lot of investment to the Confucian paradigm valued education to improve one's social economic position, and they have a heavy amount of investment in cultural value of education. And because of their high value education, it catapulted the resource coordination to among the world's top global education ranking. And there have both been a lot of praise, but also criticism. For the praise, a lot of people, Taiwan has very high test results and a major role promoting its economic development, while creating some of the world's most highly educated workforces. On the other hand, the system kind of been criticized for placing pressure on students while eschewing creativity and producing excess supply of overeducated graduates, and a high unemployment rate as a result. So that's going to be a little bit about the language, about the stuff so far. Let's see who's flying along with us today. Turns out no one's with me right now, apparently. Yeah, so many good people here in this chat. I mean, thank you guys so much for being here as well. I'm happy to spend this weekend with you guys as well, not just in the chat, but also the lurkers too. It's great to be here today on another leg of this DC-3 trip. I mean, can't believe that we're already going to be here as well. Lost your tag server issues, says Roger Pro Turtle Depot. Yeah, I bet that is probably the thing. I think it's server issue. Yeah, I think it's let me go ahead and change things back. Here's West USA, and then I'll change back. Oh, that's who you were. You were the 247. Oh, that's who it was. Good to see you, Planet Neutral. What's up, my friend? You're going to be streaming tonight, Planet Neutral. Check out, if you're interested in some bush flying and all that, check out my good friend, Planet Neutral, an awesome dude as well. He's from around my local area, and he makes some great flight sim content as well. Really been enjoying your stuff. You're doing, I got your notification. You're doing the Fraser River run, for the Fraser River. That sounds awesome. British Columbia is absolutely beautiful. Yep, mid waters in the floaty beaver. Nice, the beaver full plane. Yeah, I took the Beaver float plane actually quite a while ago, quite neutral. That is last Friday's stream. Not that I meant 2 Fridays ago stream. So I took the float Beaver. Really, really nice. Very, very cool. So, we're about under 250 nautical miles away from our trip. Oh, you got me in my 6. Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, glad to see the name tags work again. Good. I just had to reset the servers. That's what's so good about Flow is I can always change the servers. If something's an issue, I can just change the servers back onto Flow without having to leave the menu. So nice. So there you are. There is Rotor Depot and the servers. Nicely done. So that's awesome, everyone. As well. So yeah, we're almost there, guys. We're almost heading our way over to Taiwan. Yeah, we are really flying through this area here. Crazy. We're going to be going through another bit more sea. Next Sunday, we're going to head to the East China Sea, and we're going to make our way to Takashima, which will be actually for streaming. This will be the first time I head back to Japan since my Japan series I've done. But Japan is a stunning place to visit. I hope the next Firefighter hub is gonna be Japan. Maybe it'd be really cool is if we get a hub and we get to pick 2 hubs. I hope our first hub's Tokyo and the other hub probably in Queenstown. That would be my picks because Tokyo would be the perfect gateway to Asia. I mean, Japan's an absolutely stunning place to fly in the sim. I mean, you have so many mountains, lakes, and all that. For GA, you get plenty of fun GA flights in Japan. Of course, there's so many airports all around Japan for international flights. So it's got plenty for both the airliners and the GA pilots. And it's not just Japan. You can fly to South Korea, China. You have all of Southeast Asia, like Phuket, the Philippines. And I've actually envisioned a few trips for the longer haul planes, like to like Honolulu. I've done LA, San Francisco. I did Tahoe, Seattle, Anchorage. Like in the United States. And of course, there's also long-haul stuff to Australia as well, like Sydney, Auckland, Perth, Darwin. Like, we can definitely do some of the long-haul stuff. I think it would be super cool. And then a hub in Queenstown would be amazing too, because I know all of you guys probably flown to New Zealand for quite a bit of time. I mean, New Zealand is absolutely stunning. It's even more stunning now with the World Update. Even better looking than it was before. New Zealand's absolutely great. Tons of great GA bush trips and all that. And I mean, it never gets old doing the flying to Queenstown approach. Either through runway 05 or 23, it never gets old. Flying around that part. It just doesn't get old. So yeah, I hope we have a double hub situation like we did with South America. But yeah, that would be really cool. Though I know some people mentioned Hong Kong Kai Tak could also be a good choice due to its location. Its centralized location would be pretty cool. My only gripe with it, I know Nighthawk showed up for some of this, but for Xbox pilots, there's no charts unless you have a Navigraph subscription, which is not good for Xbox people. You don't have to ask me about that. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about, the Taiwanese Mandarin is what we're going to talk about next. basically Taiwanese Mandarin is actually a derivative of Mandarin Chinese that's spoken here in Taiwan. Now Oyu is actually not. This is not an indigenous language to Taiwan. Actually, Taiwan actually has its own indigenous language. That being Hokkien. Hokkien is actually main original language is actually the indigenous is Taiwanese Hokkien, which is actually the main indigenous language of the population. It's indigenous from the Taiwanese people. The reason I want to talk about Taiwanese Mandarin is because a bunch of the writing stuff is in Mandarin. It's very similar to but Taiwanese Mandarin is very similar to the Beijing dialect of Mandarin Chinese of the 20th century, and it has something very similar to normal Mandarin, just with a few differences. And of course, just like in the mainland, for Taiwanese Chinese, they actually have the traditional Chinese characters, is what they are traditionally have written in Taiwanese Mandarin. Basically, they are one type of standard Chinese character sets that, and they take shapes since the cardinal change, and it has remained the same as it was back in the 2nd century. Still the same identity and everything. Over the centuries, traditional characters are regarded as the standard form of printed Chinese characters throughout the whole Sinosphere until the middle of the 20th century, before different script reforms initiated by countries in Chinese characters. And this has got a long history of all that. And basically, sometimes characters are known by different names within the Chinese-speaking world. So something looks similar, but they can always be pronounced differently. And more than that, we have all sorts of different characters, and there's a whole debate between traditional and simplified Chinese. Now, in Chinese Mandarin, the phonology of this, they're very similar to Beijing Mandarin, is quite tonal, with pronunciation of different character standards by the language authorities. They have different tones of erhua, or. So you have pronunciation difference between these characters as well. D, K, Han, K, and all that. There's all sorts of different grammar and stuff. But probably look for more greater research about the difference. And so here are some basics on some Taiwanese words to talk about. Welcome is Hoan Gang Kong Lin is welcome. Hoan Gang Kong Lin, welcome to Taiwan. Then hello is a general greeting. There's actually two characters. Singular, if you want to say hello to singular, it is Li Ho. Li Ho. Li Ho. And then in plural, PL's plural, it's Lin Ho. Lin Ho. So that is for pluralize. So again, singular, Li Ho. Li Ho. And then for plural, it's Lin Ho. Lin Ho. Lin Ho. Okay. Then good morning, morning greeting is Gao. Gaosha. I think, yeah, it's Gaosha. Gaosha. Yeah, Gaosha. Is good morning. Goodbye, the party phrase is Shai Kian. Shai Khan. Shai Kian. Kian. Shai Kian. Yeah, Shai Kian is goodbye. And then sorry, there's a few things. There's three things. Sitle is one. Bansai. Taipei. And then the last one in these characters is Hui Pu Ki. Hui Pu Ki. Hui Pu Ki. Okay, and then please is Xian. Yeah, Xian. Xian. And then towards the toilet and bathroom, it is Pianso. Pianso to Oe. And then help is Mia. And finally, for New Year's greetings, there's multiple greetings. Normal New Year's greetings is Sydney Koilo. And then finally, for Chinese New Year, their greeting for the Chinese New Year is Pyonghi Hoat Shai, is what they call it for that as well. I'm sorry about my pronunciation not being that great. I'm trying my best. Like I said, learn Chinese and Mandarin is not easy. I mean, for English speakers, Mandarin is actually a pretty tricky language. For English speakers, Mandarin's one of the hardest languages to learn. So Mandarin Chinese is really difficult to learn as an English speaker. So if I make a mistake, I'm really sorry. For English speakers, it is not a fun language to learn. At least I try. Yeah, we have Rogue Turtle Depot pilot. He's with us right now. Brilliant flying skills, guys. But yeah, what a great flying, everyone. This has been a lot of fun here today. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are enjoying this as well. I hope you guys are liking the content. I know I put a lot of work on these slides as well and put a lot of work for you guys to enjoy the stream. So we are just about 216 nautical miles away from our journey here. We're about to reach the main island of Taiwan very, very shortly. So again, this is going to be a bit shorter than normal stuff as well. I'm gonna be taking a bio break, so I'll be right back, guys. I'll be back shortly. Alright, I'm back. Great flying, guys. So, here, I think we could see the island in quite a distance away. So, yeah, we are getting very, very close to the island right now. What a great flight, guys. Very, very enjoyable day. So, getting very, very, very close, about an hour away. So, our next waypoint is actually going to be in the Penghu Island. Penghu Islands. So, I do want to ask you guys in the chat. So, what are some of your favorite flights you've done this past week, personally? For me, some of my favorite stuff I've been doing. I've been doing quite a few flights out of Quito yesterday. That's what I've been mainly doing. Trying to get some of those achievements for the VA and all that. My stomach's kind of acting up. I guess I'm gonna have to go do another bio break again. I'll be right back. I'm back. I feel better now. So we just made here. We're almost made it to our next waypoint. This is Penghu Island. Um. So still got quite a few people with us. I mean, some amazing flying in that Boeing 247. And our fuel situation is looking very well, very good right now. So only 172 nautical miles remaining to our destination in Taipei. So we got a pretty good flight left to go, guys. Beautiful flying today. Yeah, these islands, by the way, in front of us were some of the first islands that discovered by the people of mainland China have actually ventured out to. So how long of a flight do you have left, Kaharia? We have around 164, so we're just an hour away. So 1 hour left to go. So we have 1 hour flight time, Kaharia. So let's go ahead and talk about Taiwan's culture. So Taiwanese culture is a blend between Confucian Chinese and indigenous Taiwanese cultures, mixing one as well. But it also features a lot of influence from some Japanese. It also features some influences from Japanese culture as well. And the common social and political experience of Taiwan has gradually developed into a sense of its own cultural identity with a feeling of Taiwanese cultural awareness, and it has been debated domestically as for Taiwan. Especially because it has a relationship with Chinese culture as well. And that's because you see the cultural policy of Taiwan has shifted not just because of its political status, but also due to the fact that it mixes between its indigenous heritage and the customs of the mainland Chinese heritage. forms a whole new one. And of course, we have to talk about Taiwanese cuisine. Food in Taiwan is very similar to that of mainland China's cuisine. And there are several major variations of Taiwanese cuisine. Some of the earliest ones we know of are from the indigenous people with over 100 years of historical development. Mainstream Taiwanese cuisine is actually influenced by Hakka cuisine, which is found by the Hakka people of the island, but also the cuisines of migrants like the Washington, which is the mainland Chinese cuisine, Japanese cuisine, and even the American cuisine as well. And due to all these cuisine heritage, the culinary history of Taiwanese cuisine is quite murky, with ties to patterns of migration and colonization. Common ingredients in Taiwanese cuisine include pork, seafood, chicken, rice, and soy are common ingredients in Taiwanese food. Traditionally, rice is formed the basis of most Taiwanese diets. But before the colonial period, most rice grew in Taiwan with the long grain indica rice, but Japan introduced the short grain japonica rice, which changed both the farming and eating patterns of the Taiwanese people. And due to that Japanese influence, the Taiwanese generally prefer rice that's plump, aromatic, and slightly firm and sweet. And all these differences between Japan and Taiwanese rice preferences is that Taiwanese rice is much more flavorful and aggressive. Also, Taiwanese cuisine has been influenced by geographic location as a result. So seafood is a big part of their cuisine, more so than like beef and all that. But there's also quite a lot of vegetarian restaurants, and that's due to the fact Buddhism still has a big role here on the island. And finally, there are quite a few regional specialties here in Taiwan that's unique to Taiwan itself. This includes a meat beer known as Chenghua, which in the region of Chenghua, for example, is Bawan, which is dough with sweet potato starch filled with savory stuffing. Hishnu is like pork balls, the soup. Hainan is ta-emi, or ta noodles, which is select seasoned noodles with minced pork, shrimp, bean sprouts. And then some of typical Taiwanese dishes. They include Gua Bao, which is flat, plain-shaped white bun with soy sauce braised pork belly, pickled mustard vegetables, peanut powder, and more. Then there's oyster omelets. And of course, I think a lot of you people know about drinks. Yes, bubble tea, actually. Very popular Taiwanese drink. Bubble tea basically is a drink, a tea-based drink originated in Taiwan. And bubble tea is usually served with chewy tapioca balls, but they can have other toppings like leaf jelly, aloe vera, red bean, and popping boba. It has many varieties of flavors, but the most popular flavors are the pearl black milk tea and pearl green milk tea. But there's also quite a few other ones like pig's blood cake and more. But basically, there's quite a few typical dishes. Desserts. They include ayu jelly made of seeds of the creeping fig, traditional cakes, and more. Of course, they also have night market dishes in the night market, including Japanese staple like takoyaki, which is a Japanese staple, but because of its influence, it made it here to Taiwan. Kinky tofu, which originated back in China. and more. But basically, they have quite a few food and delicacies as well. It's pretty cool to talk about these. But it shows that there's quite a lot of influences in the Taiwanese cuisine. Oh, you're enjoying alongside us, Kaharia? Nice. Hold on one second. Check this out. So this is the Penghu Islands, right below us. Here we are. This is the Penghu Islands. This is right below us, guys. Ah, there's Kahari in the spitting. Nice. Good fire. Good choice. Let me get back to my slides. So we got Taiwanese art, which has played a big role. It has a Taiwan is very diverse artistically. Stonecutters have been around since 30,000 years ago. Art was first institutionalized during the Japanese colonial period. The establishment of the public schools dedicated to fine arts, and along with Chinese influence, the nationalists have allowed the U.S. to establish military bases, bringing American pop culture and artistic ideas like expressionism to be introduced into Taiwan. Then, with the democratization in the late 80s, Taiwanese artists have way more freedom of expression, and as a result, by 1990, Taiwan was Asia's biggest art market. And as a result, art in Taiwan is extremely diverse and rich in a lot of areas in artistic. Then in sports, some of the most prominent sports include badminton, baseball, basketball, football, softball, table tennis, and volleyball. Also, martial arts such as Tai Chi Chuan and Taekwondo are also practiced by many of the people. Due to political reasons and pressures from the PRC, the organizations or national team from Taiwan have actually been competing in international events known as Chinese Taipei, such as the Olympics. So if you ever see Chinese Taipei, do note that is actually Taiwan. But due to reasons, it represents as Chinese Taipei. And one of the most popular spectator sports is baseball, believe it or not. Yes, baseball, I kid you not. Yeah, just like Japan, in South Korea, baseball is a very popular spectator sport. It was actually introduced by the Japanese during their rule. And Taiwan already had its first baseball team back in about 1906. And many more Taiwanese players have joined baseball as well. And there are even quite a few Japanese Taiwanese that even joined the Japanese baseball league, including Japanese baseball legend Jose Go. Well, and he played for many years during Then after World War II, baseball still remained extremely popular in Taiwan, and Taiwan has become a Little League baseball powerhouse, as they won 15 championships in Little League Baseball as well. And of course, they even have their own major baseball league known as the Chinese Professional Baseball. And there have even been quite a few Taiwanese made their way into the major leagues. Into the major leagues of both Japan and the US, like Tai Yun Kuo, Jian Ming Wang, and Wei Yin Chen, for example. So yeah, I think quite a few interesting things about facts. And of course, we have to talk about their recreation culture and recreation. Taiwanese do enjoy recreation. In terms of recreation, karaoke is very popular in Taiwan. Has been karaoke. And this was something that was brought from contemporary Japanese culture. So is pachinko as well, mechanical games. They also enjoyed Taiwanese miniseries drama as well, and of course, hot springs have risen in Taiwan since 1999, as well as anime and manga being very popular there in Taiwan as well. And here's a funny little thing about Taiwan that not many people outside of Taiwan probably know about. This place actually has quite a convenience store location here too. It's convenience store culture. That's because there's over 9,200 convenience stores in an area around 35,500 square kilometers. Taiwan has the Asia Pacific's highest density of convenience stores per person, one store per 2,500 people. And many of those convenience stores were the 7-Eleven stores, which is, they got tons of them. And because you can find convenience stores everywhere, not only do convenience stores still provide services, they provide services not only to like food and stuff, but also they provide services on behalf of financial institutions, government agencies, for parking fees, utility bills, traffic fines, and credit card payments. But they also carry food items, fast food, magazines, computers, video games, and so on. Makes it a lot easier for Taiwan's population. So yeah, pretty cool. Think about that. Yeah, that is just a little information about Taiwanese culture. So yeah, guys, into our right is we have sight of mainland Taiwan. So there's the Taiwanese mainland. Anyway. There's Gaharia, the flying iron spit. Nice, and the Firefly air cars too. That's even better. This is awesome flying, guys. That is amazing. This is incredible stuff, guys. So yeah, we can definitely see the Taiwan, the main island. So, 118 nautical miles out, guys. We're not far from reaching the city of Taipei. And so, let's go ahead and talk about a few fun facts about Taiwan. Actually, first off, Taiwan actually experiences quite a few earthquakes every year because it's located right in the Pacific Ring of Fire, which includes countries like Japan and the Philippines. So, as a result, this place is very earthquake prone. Also, when you enter when you enter a multi-story building, if you notice that for some reason you don't see the number 4 anywhere, well, that's because in Taiwan and in many places around Asia, the number 4 is considered to be a very unlucky number. And if you want to know the reason, it's because the number 4 sounds like the word death. So it's considered to be very unlucky. So as a result, buildings like hospitals and hotels don't even have a 4th floor. In Taiwan, it is a traditional for an astrologer to determine whether a match between couples is a good one. And an astrologer also chooses a favorable date and time for the wedding to match whether a match between couples is a good match. It's traditional in their culture. And then Snake Alley is located in Taipei. Now Snake Alley is the picture here. This is Snake Alley. And Snake Alley is a market here in Taipei that serves unique delicacies, including such as snake blood, deer penis wine, and turtle blood and meat. Yes, they do some very and finally, it actually is just about an 8-hour drive to drive around the entire island of Taiwan. It takes around 8 hours of drive time. So if you want to drive away from one side of Taiwan to the other, it takes about 8 hours to get through all of it. So that's about it, guys. So yeah, so after the stream today, I'm probably gonna do a couple more flights around as well. So right in front of us, to our right, we should see, this is Taichung City, to our right. Taichung City is located here to our right, located here in central Taiwan. Believe it or not, this is actually Taiwan's second largest city, home to second most populous city, home to 2.8 million residents. Located here in the Taichung Basin, it was initially developed from several scattered hamlets owned by the Chinese indigenous people, and it was constructed to be the new capital of the Taiwan province in the 1880s and early 1890s. During the Japanese era, it was developed by the Japanese. Currently, the city is home to the National Museum of Natural Science, National Taiwan Museum of Fine Arts, and more. Where are you flying after the stream? Well, good question. After the stream, I'll probably be taking the Sobo 747, Kaharia, because I'm trying to go for that personal achievement of flying 250 hours in a super jumbo jet. I'm about 106 hours into it, so I just need to do a big long haul flight to add more hours. And then afterwards, after I do that, I just do the bush pilot achievement, and I get the professional achievement. These are personal achievements, by the way. I've completed nearly every one of the flight achievements as well. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get more hours for the personal achievement and stuff. That's all. So we're just about 95 miles out of Taipei, actually. Oh. I guess I should probably get ready to descend in just a little bit. We'll be descending to 2,500 feet for the rest of the trip. So I think it's about time we start to actually descend a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and set the power prop pitch. I'm going to go ahead and lower the thing a little bit. Reduce throttle. So that way we can start a descent. We got E79 miles. I just want to slowly descend our way down. Slowly descend our way. To 2,500? Yep, I'm gonna slowly descend this way to 2,500 feet. Yep, 2,500, Kaharia. That's what. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about Taipei while we're down here. Let's talk about our city we're visiting. We're going to be visiting two cities. So we're going to be first visiting New Taipei City. First, we'll be flying over that a little bit. New Taipei City is actually the most populous city in the country, with 4 million people as of January 2023. New Taipei neighbors Keelung to the northeast, Keelung County southeast, and of course it completely encloses the city of Taipei. Before the Spanish and Dutch arrived in Taiwan, instead of outposts, the area of present-day New Taipei City was by indigenous Taiwanese. The port has moved open up to foreign traders as one of the treaty ports. When the Japanese ruled this area, the entire area of New Taipei City was organized into the Taiko Prefecture. The present-day New Taiwan's Taipei City was designated in 1945 after the Republic of China took it back. And the city basically is a conurbanation, which is merged for a number of regional offices, suburban business districts, and more into one area. Together with the cities of Taipei and Keelung, it consists of the Taipei-Keelung metropolitan area, which is the largest metropolitan area in the country. It's got a long history and all that, as well from Taipei City. It actually completely encloses the world Taipei. Now this area's hosted quite a few sporting events. It has its own baseball team, the Fubon Guardians. They also hosted plenty of sporting events here in the city, including the 2013 World Baseball Classic, the the International Children's Game of 2016. And then 2025, it's going to be co-hosted with Taipei itself, the Summer World Masters game, a multi-sport event. And due to its strategic location, New Taipei City is the second major city business after Taipei, home to 250,000 privately owned companies, including Acer Computers, and 20,000 factories scattered across the industrial parks. So that is a little bit about New Taipei City. We will be flying over that quite a bit. And then we finally get to go to Taipei itself. Taipei is the capital of the Republic of China, or Taiwan. It is home to 2.49 million people. Most of the city rests on Taipei Basin, an ancient lake bed. And its metropolitan area, combined with New Taipei and Keelung, is around 7.04 million people. Taipei has been around for a very long time. It was established, though, in 1887. But it really grew when the Japanese took over the place, and it became really the capital. And then it really grew after the events of the Chinese Civil War, and it greatly grew to become the main capital of the island. And Taipei is an economic, political, cultural, and more of Taiwan. It's the major center. And it's one of the major hubs in East Asia, with many highways, railways, and airports connected to all parts of the island and throughout much of the world. And it's home to several major building landmarks, including Taipei 101, Tianqi Memorial Hall, Dalan Baoan Temple, and much, much more. As well as shopping districts and more. And of course, Taipei is very rich in culture. It's home to many museums. In fact, this area's got quite a few landmarks in particular that are definitely worth visiting in the country. It's also got pretty major airports here as well. So, some of the landmarks we're going to be visiting, first used to be one of the world's tallest buildings, and this is Taipei 101. I don't think it's in the sim, unfortunately. I don't think it's in the sim, but Taipei 101 was once the world's tallest building before the Burj Khalifa was built. This used to be the tallest building in the world, and over 1,600 feet tall. When it was completed, it was the first built skyscraper to exceed a height of half a kilometer tall. Featuring its postmodernistic architectural style, evokes traditional Asian aesthetics in a modern structure while employing industrial materials. And they have incorporated a number of unique features to allow it to withstand the earthquakes throughout Taiwan. And it houses offices, restaurants, shops, interior and outdoor observatories are also featured all over this area. Was the World Trade Center taller? Good question, actually. The World Trade Center? original World Trade Center. Ah, there you go. Top 10. What was it? No, Taipei 101 is about 300 feet taller, or meters, or in yours case, 508. It's 508 meters for Taipei. This is only 417 for the World Trade Center. Now the new World Trade Center, the new one that was built, the Freedom One, which is the new skyscraper that's up there. It's the Freedom Tower, apparently. Yeah, it's the Freedom Tower. Yeah, it's the One World Trade Center. That's the new skyscraper that was built. And that's even taller than Taipei. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Mongo. Oh, you can get the one... Oh, yeah, that's right. Orbex had a thing about it. Okay. But, I mean, but the other two landmarks are actually in the sim, by the way. The other two landmarks we're going to be seeing here today is the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall. This national monument was erected in memory of Chiang Kai-shek, the former president of the Republic of China. It was constructed from 1976 to 1980. This national memorial is white with four sides with a blue roof, an octagonal roof. It features 89 steps representing his age by death, and the shade that picks up the symbol of the number 8, which is traditionally the Chinese symbol of good luck. And it features a library museum dedicated to Chiang Kai-shek's life and career, including Taiwan's history and development. And the square itself became a choice for a lot of mass gatherings as soon as it opened, and many of them have given a lot of public meetings. Helped elect it turn into a democracy in the 80s and 90s, helped with the democratization. It's been a major part about declaration. As a result. And then the last Taiwan landmark we're going to be checking out today is the Grand Hotel in Taipei, which was established in May 1952, and it was and the main building was actually completed back in October 10th, 1973. It was one of the main buildings, one of the world's tallest Chinese classical buildings, around 285 feet tall, and it features lots of dragon motifs, or they nicknamed the Dragon Palace, as well. But one of the most interesting things about this hotel, and what makes it a pretty unique landmark, was the fact, there was actually a lot of rumors that it actually had secret passages that ran from the hotel to the official residence in the presidential office building across China, and that was for Chiang Kai-shek's convenience. That was, and some people thought it was actually secretive, but it turns out it was actually true. Uh, there was actually passages that actually revealed to be air raid tunnels leading to the nearby parks, not the president residence or emergency headquarters, but rather air raid tunnels for the parks. But there have been some notable guests that actually have actually been around this hotel. And they include Dwight D. Eisenhower, Richard Nixon, the president of South Vietnam at the time, Nguyen Van Thieu, Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, Nelson Mandela, Margaret Thatcher, and Lee Kuan Yew as well. All these are some notable guests in the people here as well. So yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, the tunnels are sliding. Oh, Viper got you DM. Nice. Thanks, Kaharia. Let me look at that just a second. Ah, yes, that's correct. Yep, that's right. Yeah, it's no longer the tallest anymore. There's quite a few buildings taller. Kind of Zhao. A lot of them were built in China, by the way. Some of these are built in China. There's the Latte World Tower. Yeah, there's a lot of buildings. That was Latte World Tower, I believe, that's Seoul. Then the Al-Bat, Avraj Al-Bait, that, I believe that was... Yeah, the clock towers, that was built in Mecca. And then Shanghai Tower, Shanghai, Mercada, I talked that a bit over when we did on the street to Kuala Lumpur. That's going to be the small second tall building, and then Burj Khalifa is still by a wide margin the tall building. Yeah. Yeah, the tunnel has a slide. So yeah, if you guys haven't followed and liked all this stuff, feel free to check out the channel. I post a lot of MSFS content from here. It'll also be a good place to keep track of all your streams. Assume in my Discord invitation link. Let me go ahead and give it a try. Oh, it changed. Discord link changed. Yeah, exactly. It's not a very far thing. So yep, we now are in the mainland. Yep, we're in the mainland now. This is mainland Taiwan. Yeah, you could definitely see a lot more hills in this part of Taiwan, so you can definitely see just the clear difference between East Taiwan and Western half. The west half is much more flat, but the eastern half, it is way more mountainous. So yep, guys, we are about 30 nautical miles away. So we actually have one final slide for today. Oh yeah, oh yeah. There's one more landmark. I forgot. The National Palace Museum is our last POI landmark. So so the so we're gonna visit all those landmarks. So the National Palace Museum is located in Taipei as well. It has a permanent collection of nearly 700,000 pieces of Chinese artifacts and artwork, which was originally moved from the Palace Museum into the Forbidden City during the Republic of China's retreat from the mainland. It was established back in 1965 at its present location, and it's one of the world's largest art museums of its type in the world. And the items in that museum contain around 8,000 years of Chinese history. Very, very poor little art museum as well. Yeah, you can definitely see where we're going with this. This is quite a hilly place. Yeah, there's Kaharia, there is Mongo, and I think I see Turtle Depot ahead of us in the 247. So we're about 26 nautical miles out. So finally, our final stop for today. We have one final stop, and that is going to be Songshan Airport. This is our final stop for today's trip. This is one of the two major airports in Taipei. This is the smaller of the two, but it handles flights to domestic destinations in Taiwan and international flights to Seoul, Tokyo, and select cities in mainland China. Covered an anchor of 182 pet acres of land. It's smaller than the larger Taoyuan Airport. It also is a central base of certain for the Republic of China Air Force units as well, with the base command to serve the President and Vice President of China, and it was built during the 1930s during Japanese rule. Then it was taken over by the Republic of China's Air Force Base, and then it turned into an international airport all throughout areas. And they even had international destinations like Seattle, Tokyo, Busan, and all that during the time. Currently, right now, going through quite a few renovations since to increase the capacity for flights between China and mainland Taiwan. And it features quite a few potential for international flights. However, like I said, the noise and all that are pretty big issues. But currently right now has international flights to Tokyo, Seoul, Shanghai, Chongqing, Tianjin, Fuzhou, Wuhan, and more within China. But definitely be a really cool airport to come visit as well. Let's see if we can find these Taipei landmarks on our map. We have 3 of them to pick. We need to find the Grand Hotel, the National Palace, and Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall. Let's see if we can find these Taipei. To our left is Taoyuan City. Is actually to our left. And actually, in the far reach of that is you can find Taiwan's largest airport, Taoyuan Airport, which was actually built in the late 70s. And that is the main international gateway into Taiwan, which in 2018 had a record 46 million passengers, making it one of the world's busiest airports. But this has international destinations all across the world, from Asia, like to Hanoi, Seoul, Tokyo, and Beijing, to Europe, like Amsterdam, London, to areas like the United States, like New York, San Francisco, LA. I mean, they have flights everywhere. It's also a major cargo hub too, and they operate a lot of cargo hubs around the world as well. So definitely a very important place as well. My wife's hometown is Taoyuan. Oh cool, Taoyuan. Oh, that's neat. Cool. I love visiting Taiwan. Yeah, the street food. Yeah, Taiwan's got great street food. Taiwan's got a very good, very important street food culture. Taiwan's very famous for its market dishes. But they have such great variety of dishes I would like to try. I would love to try them. Yeah, the night markets. Oh. Yeah, I talked about that earlier, Mongo, on stream about the cuisine. Taiwan is extremely diverse. Like, it's got elements of Chinese cuisine, Japanese, American, even their local cuisine as well. So we're entering New Taipei City here right now. So this is New Taipei City. We're about entering to we're entering a new city, guys. Let's see if we can find each of these PY landmarks. We got 3 of them to look at today. Unfortunately, we can't find Taipei 101, but we will try to find the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall, Grand Hotel Taipei, and National Palace Museum. We're going to go find those 3. We're going to take pictures for the Discord so we can share them up with our journey to the community. Let's see if we can find the National Memorial. Oh, there it is. So there's the National Memorial dead ahead. So yeah, all of this is across the. I know Mongo. There's quite a few cruises that I saw from Asia that go to Taipei. I would definitely check them out. Maybe one day I get to do an Asian cruise. Just my parents don't have the money for it. But yeah, this is why I love doing the DC-3 trip, is I get to explore places I never get to explore before. Okay. First up is the Memorial Hall, dedicated to Chiang Kai-shek. Oh. There it is, guys. This here, there is the end of, there's the memorial. There is POI landmark number 1. Near Songshan Airport. Yeah, this game is running silky smooth. This is cool though. I've been wanting to visit this. Okay, guys, this is landmark number 2. This is the Grand Hotel. Built in the 1950s, it is home to many famous guests, including U.S. presidents, and presidents of various Asian countries have came here to visit. As well. There you go. Grand Hotel. And finally, the National Palace Museum, which is going to be this way. Of course, if I don't crash into the mountain around the island, because a lot of people forget Taiwan, the eastern half of it is mountains. There is the National Palace. The National Palace Museum here in I know Octopus kind of messed things up, so I'm going to take it. that's gonna be it. Okay, that's all the picks from Taipei. Yes, so yeah, there's a lot of bridges here. So we're gonna go. So guys, we're gonna land here at runway. Runway 2A is where we're gonna be landing here today. So yeah, we'll be taking off from here. Um, we'll be taking off from here next week, and we'll be heading to Japan, which is going to be longer than this one, but it should be a good flight. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming to the stream. I mean, it's been an honor to be here with you guys here today. I had a ton of fun here today. Welcome to Taipei, everyone. We crossed over in Taiwan. I mean, a very scenic area with all the mountains. So we're gonna go ahead and get. I forgot to do my land predictions. This is gonna get interesting. Forgot to do them. Not bad. Negative 215. That's a good landing. Beautiful, guys. Nicely done, everyone. That was a great flight. And I'm just gonna park right here. Oh yeah, and the best part is we got to do all this and we haven't even changed the tanks. So far, so good. Okay, park and hurry off. Okay. There's Gaharia with the landing and the spin. There's Mongo down in the Cessna 414. Did you crash, Mongo? Oh, no, you didn't crash. Good. And that is it, everyone. We done it. Welcome to Taipei, everyone. What an awesome flight, everyone. A massive thank you to everyone here in this chat. What a fantastic flight today. It was a bit shorter than the last two, but I had a great time making our way over across Asia. So, guys, thank you so much. If you lock your tail wheel, you're more likely to stay in center line. Gotcha. I do need to lock my tail wheel. Thanks, Copperstick. Thank you. Yeah, I think everything went well. So, on Wednesday, I'll be seeing you guys on Wednesday. We'll be heading through Scandinavia. We'll be heading. We're gonna do 2 flights actually today. On that day, we're gonna be heading from Trondheim to Bergen, and then from Bergen over to our final stop here in Gothenburg at Landvetter Airport. So this should be fun with the 737s. So guys, thank you so much. We're gonna find someone good to raid. I'm thinking today we are going to raid. I'm thinking about raiding. Um, I guess I'm probably gonna go raid. I think we're gonna raid Nomad Aviator today. Let's go raid Nomad Aviator stream. He's doing flights around the United States, and plus he's someone I haven't raided yet. So I think we're gonna run Nomad Aviator today, guys. So thank you guys so much for the stream as well, and I hope to see you guys all on the next stream. Oh, wait, that's not it. So let me go. I need to do this. There we go. There we go, guys. All right, guys. See you on Wednesday, and take care, and see you all then. Have a great Sunday. Bye. Take care.